Hi guys, welcome to another video from Overbite Gaming, and today we're taking a look at Helldivers 2. Never played the first one, so don't expect any comparisons between the first and the second, although I understand the first one was a top-down affair. Helldivers 2 is not a top-down affair, it is a third-person shooter, and it's rather good, I must say. Straight out of the gate, it pushes a lot of the fun buttons that a lot of games these days don't really bother with. To read it, I was very much like, okay, there's not a huge amount of plot in it, there's not a story to follow, there's no real single player, although you can wolf it, sort of campaign or anything like that. It was like a game that was really not designed for me. I did pick it up after hearing how good it was, and the fact that it is basically fairly cheap. It's like 35 quid, which is half price nowadays. Bloody hell. So I picked it up and sort of thought, okay, well, let's give it a go. At least I'll get a video of it, right, even if I don't play it for very long. So I did that, and to my surprise, I really like it. It is fun, it is frenetic, it is really, the community is actually really nice as well, which is a weird thing to say nowadays, because most communities are just overridingly full of idiots. But no, this has a very nice community, and I've actually done multiplayer stuff on it. I know, fucking hell. Not with a mic on, because as you can tell, being a YouTuber, I don't like talking into a mic very much. Yeah, I'm a creature of contradictions, what can I say? But yeah, I mean, it's all the contact I have had has been all very positive and lovely. And the gameplay itself is fantastic, and you really need to sort of relearn a lot of the sort of core tenets that you've been sort of inured into by playing years of FPS and third-person shooters, because you need to do things differently in this game, basically. So let's take it from the top. What is Helldivers? It's a third-person shooter, as I've already said, where you play one of the titular Helldivers, who are there to defend Super Earth from the encroaching alien threats. Sounding a little bit 40k, perhaps, yes. There's also a very good dollop of Starship Troopers in here. The Super Earth that you work for is obviously our Earth, and basically what they've done is they've implemented a system of government called managed democracy. So basically, I've actually looked into the lore a little bit, so hey, look at me researching videos, fucking hell. So what happened was, instead of like voting for political parties and being, you know, suckered in by promises that they were never going to keep and all that bollocks, you just got asked a series of questions, and then it allocated your vote via a computer program as that would best fit your responses to those questions. The only downside was, given the fact that this is what everybody wanted, any sort of straying outside the class was not particularly entertained, and it became a bit of a totalitarian society. Oh dear. So very similar to Starship Troopers in that it's a bit fascistic, and it does have that tongue-in-cheek sort of comedy. The opening cutscene is just really amazing. Not just because of the content of the cutscene. I actually did a double take. It's one of those ones where you're like, is that a real person? You know, you get like the occasionally you get CGI that's so good you're sort of like, is that real? No, it's CGI. But the fact that you were fooled for like an instant of a second is quite impressive. It always sort of gives me a good feeling about technology whenever that happens. So you were recruited as a Helldiver to fight off the alien threat. There are 2 alien factions for you to fight, but the map suggests perhaps the addition of another 1 or 2 later down the line. I will hold up my hands and say I haven't fought one of the alien factions yet. This is not really a review, it's more of a first impressions, because as fun and immediate as the game is, there's a lot to do in it, in terms of opening up your battle passes and obviously pushing deeper into alien territory and working your way up the difficulty. I am lone wolfing it. It is not balanced for lone wolf play. I will forewarn you if you decide to attempt that. That's why I'm playing it on such a pussy difficulty level. I have grouped with other players, and there is a constituent problem in doing that, but I will move on to that in a bit. So yes, you go to different planets. You go through your training, and you get given command of an entire destroyer, which is nice. That's can you imagine doing that in like the British Army? You'd be like, yeah, I just did my training. It's like, have a starship, sir. You're like, but okay then. So you basically have command of this starship, which you fly around the place and go to different sectors. You can go to either the automaton sector or the pyramids. I'm gonna have to look this up because I want to say tyrannids, because obviously I want to say tyrannids. It is terminid. I was close. So yeah, the terminids are bugs, and you have the automatons, who are the robot faction. The bugs, very, very similar to the ones seen in Starship Troopers, or at least some of them, and also have a lot of similarity to the aforementioned Tyranids. So if you like blasting bugs with big machine guns and all sorts, then it's going to be fun. The robots will fire back at you. As I said, I've not experienced that joy yet. I didn't really fancy the idea of it, so I've been spending most of my time shooting bugs. And so yeah, I've seen some gameplay with them. It looks okay, but like getting shot at with like lasers and rockets sounds a little bit less fun to me. Anyway, I'm probably completely wrong, because I thought it wouldn't be fun at all, and I'm having a great deal of fun with it, as you can tell from how much I'm enthusing the microphone. So one of the nice things about Helldivers is it's not your standard third-person shooter. It's, as I said, you do have to relearn a few things in this game, such as reloading. Now, first person, third person, you know as well as I do, as soon as they're breaking shit, you press R, reload. Make sure you've got a fresh clip in for whatever comes next at you. It's common sense. Don't do that in this game, because you don't have a system where the ammo that's in your current magazine goes back into your pouch or whatever. No, if you reload, whatever ammo is in that magazine gets tossed, so you've lost it. And ammo is at a premium. There are ways of getting it back, and they're not particularly arduous ways, I will admit, but for the immediate on-the-fly battle, you want as much ammo as you can have, obviously. So you're going to have to like unlearn the reloading thing, I'm afraid. It took me a while, but I'm getting it. I can't make up my mind whether I really like it or not. It adds an extra layer, but it's also like goes so against the grain for me. I'm not sure if I like it. So you have various weapons. You start with your basic machine gun and pistol. The way you unlock weapons is via the battle pass. Now there is two versions of it. One is unlocked by winning medals, and you can pick those up on missions, get them for completing missions. The higher the difficulty, the more medals you get for doing it. And you can go through and unlock the battle pass like that. Inside the battle pass you have access to armor, helmets, weapons. The helmets don't seem to do anything other than be cosmetic at the moment. The armor can have different effects, like the one I use has slightly more armor, but it also reduces my speed and stamina. So you got to look out for that. Obviously the weapons do different things. You'll very quickly be able to unlock a shotgun, a marksman rifle, stuff like that. Now the second battle pass is buyable with what's called super credits, and this is the premium currency. If you wish to spend money, you can buy super credits. There's nothing in the paid for battle pass which is particularly different from the regular battle pass, but you can obviously, if you have the functionality to buy it more quickly, because you can just spend money on it rather than to earn the medals to get the rest. If you don't want to spend money, you can pick up super credits just through gameplay. There'll be points of interest on maps where you can just go in it, and there'll be a little loot cache there, and you can open up and you get stuff, and some of the stuff will be super credits. So that's how you unlock that. Super credits can also be found on the 3 battle pass, so you pay medals to get a little cache of credits if you want. There are several levels on each battle pass, and I think they're permanent, so they won't be rolling over. So if there's a helmet you particularly like to look at, you won't have to spend like the next week solid grinding, trying to get enough coins or medals in order to get that helmet before it pisses off. Which is nice, because that's really frustrating. You also have what's called stratagems. So anytime during the mission, if you hold control, you bring up a list of your stratagems you have equipped, and then you do WSAD, or I think it's the D-pad on PS5, because this is only on PS5 console-wise. It is also on PC. Being published by Sony, it's kind of expected. Arrowhead Studios are, by the way, the developers of it. So stratagems, and you get a list of arrows, and you just use the keys or the D-pad to follow the arrows, and you'll cool down the stratagem. Now, these can range from a resupply drop to a machine gun sentinel to different weapons. You can have orbital bombardment, you can have strafing runs from aircraft, all that sort. So the way most of them work is you activate the stratagem, and then you throw out the sort of beacon where you want it to go off, and it goes off however long after. Some of them are quicker than others, some of them take a little while. It does really add to the gameplay, because you can obviously lay down a lot of fire, or you can defend yourself. You can also unlock drones and stuff like that. So if you're trying to solo, it gives you a little bit of extra help. They're massively powerful when used correctly, which I rarely do. And they also recharge, so there's no ammo for them. You always have to it's just a cooldown timer, and then you can use them again. So don't be stingy with them, use them as much as you can. I don't think I used many in my gameplay footage, because at that point I hadn't even unlocked a lot of them. The way you unlock them is you earn requisition credits as you play another version of currency, and use those to buy the stratagems. The stratagems are also, the efficiency of them is also sort of based on your ship, so you can actually upgrade your ship. This is a little bit more tricky to do though. So you go into the console, you can name your ship whatever you want. Well, there's like a list that you can mix and match, and you can upgrade parts of it. So stuff like the hangar, which dictates the abilities of the strafing runs the aircraft do for you, and how much they can carry, because they can only do a couple and then they have to return and refuel, and then there's a timer for that. Or the orbital batteries, you can upgrade those, or the robotics bay if you want sentinel turrets, things like that. But these run off the samples, and what samples are is things you will find sort of around the maps fairly frequently. They're probably the most frequent thing you'll find, but they are graded. There are 3 grades, and you only get the top grade on challenging difficulty and above. So needless to say, I've not seen any of that. The ones that you'll get on lower difficulty will always be the green ones. I think the blue one is the middle one, and you've got the pink, which is the top end one. And you will need various amounts of these to upgrade your ship. So if it's worth doing a higher level one as a group to try and get some of them, because whenever anybody picks something up on the map, it's shared when you get back, which is very cool. Also, if you die carrying samples, you will drop them. That will be the same for any special weapon that you've summoned and picked up, stuff like that, or you found. You can find weapons as well, and you have to go back and pick it up basically, otherwise it's lost. The gameplay itself is really fast. It's very much horde gameplay, so you will be shooting a lot of bugs or robots, and it's very fun. The bugs all get destroyed in a squishy, satisfying manner. You get covered with green goo if you shoot them a bit closer. You will also be injured quite a lot. You are fairly squishy in this game, so it's it's in your own best interest to stay out of the way of the big slashy claws, basically. Another sort of similarity with Starship Troopers and 40k, sort of right there. Obviously, you have a fair degree of destructive output, what with the stratagems and everything, but you do have to be careful as well, because friendly fire is a thing. And I'm not gonna lie, the times that I have gone out in teams, I've been killed more by my teammates than any enemy on the field. I have been minced by a sentinel turret. Sentinel turret doesn't care that you're in its way. It just sees a bug and wants to shoot the bug. If you're in the way, it minces you in like a second and a half. Sort of way before you can react to it. And I've just been flat out shot by one of my teammates. Not on purpose, I will hasten to add. He was shooting at a bug. His fire discipline was not great, or I moved at a particularly unfortunate time perhaps. But there you go. So I am having fun with that. I didn't think I would, just because of the nature of it, but it is a fantastically well put together game, and the price is right. And if you don't want to support like AAA developers that busy poking Sweet Baby into everything, give these guys a look. There has been a bit of controversy sort of around that type of subject, and when they were asked on their Discord server if they were going to put an LGBTQIA whatever letter they've added this week flag on it, and they said no and banned him. Now I got to admit, I think banning was a bit extreme, but it's only a Discord server, so who really gives a fuck? But it's... why do you even want that? It's completely at odds with the game. The sort of jingoistic nationalism that's displayed in it, and you know, it's a first-person shooter. I really don't care who you want to fuck. It's like, why does that even need to be in there? It doesn't. It doesn't really need to be anywhere unless it's a part of the story that individuals' preferences. So I get why they was just like, no, it's not going in there. Probably wouldn't have banned the guy just for asking, but there you go. Something to think about. So Helldivers 2 is just a fantastic time. It plays brilliantly. Even the look and sounds of it are great. It runs well. I mean, I'm using pretty much everything on max. Just getting like 80 frames a second, which is plenty. Anything above 60, got to have at least 60 in this sort of game though, because it is a bit twitch reactive. The bugs will sneak up on you little bastards, so you'll be using your mini-map to track them, because it pings every 10 seconds or so and shows you the bug locations that are close. So you're like, oh, they're coming up there, and you're set up, you're ready. And you start coming up and you're blowing away, you're like, ha ha, you ain't getting past me, fucker. And then like a load of bugs come from behind you that came before you put your mini-map away and just rollick you from the side, basically. Little assholes they are. One nice thing that you can do is when you are dropping in, because Helldivers refers to their method of transport, which is a drop pod. Kind of like Warhammer 40k. But they're one-man pods. And you can control them slightly, and if you manage to like blat an alien, they're dead, no problems. And they drop in through the atmosphere from the ship, and then you need to reach an extraction point at the end of your mission to get shuttled out of there. So, it's good, but you can also pick where you want to hell pod into, which is good because the maps are open. You have a main mission to complete, but that doesn't mean that's all there is to do. There are several points of interest on maps. Some will give you benefits for the mission, like if you uncover an artillery site, you can load up artillery rounds, which interestingly will fire in the order you put them in, so remember that. You don't want to be bringing down something on your head you weren't expecting. And that will allow you to use that anywhere on the map during the course of that game. So, that's really good. I think there's a radio station as well. I've never found one. But that will allow you to show all points of interest on the map, I understand. Like I said, not found one yet, so that's just what I've heard. So there is a lot to do. There's a lot of POIs where you can obtain loot. It's not loot in the regular sense, and they're like, oh, I've got better armor, I've got better weapons, that sort of thing. You don't get that. That's all unlocked on the ship. What you will find is weapons that you can use during the mission. So the only time I've used a flamethrower so far is in that. It's a bit short range for my liking with that many bugs, but okay. And obviously you'll get samples and credits and super credits and stuff that will go towards your progression of whatever you're doing. So Helldivers 2 is a bloody good time. I highly recommend it. It's far better than I expected it to be perfectly honest. I mean, coming from AA Studio, multiplayer only, no real single player campaign, you know, not really story based, although there's a little bit in there. I mean, I've seen a couple of lore videos on it, so there's enough to justify the game doing the game, basically. A lot of the humour is very jingoistic and sort of really sort of, I don't know how to put it outside of that. It's just very pro-democracy. You're like, for democracy kind of thing. It's very much what everybody that's not American thinks all Americans are like. That kind of thing. Anyway, guys, I'm going to stop speaking about it now because I am doing this on my lunch hour because things have gotten hectic this week. But let me know down below what you think of Helldivers 2, and I will be amazed if anyone comes up with a bad response because I just think it is that good. Anyway, I gotta go and get showered because I'm working from home. I don't go to work and not shower. I'm not a dirty boy. Well, not that dirty anyway. Anyway, guys, take it easy. I'll catch you next time.